Hello everybody, welcome back to Evolving Vibes, the community for witches, pagans, spiritualists, and everybody in between. So for today's video, what I'm actually going to be doing is an unboxing for the Transparent Tarot. I am so super stoked about doing this. Part of the reason being I've wanted to do an unboxing video. So here I am. I'm actually going to be doing one and I'm so excited about it. So I can't wait any longer. I have my trusty little shears right here, and I'm just going to open up this plastic so I can get the plastic off first and foremost. I've been wanting to do this since I got this box, and I've been waiting so I can do that on camera with you guys. Before I get started with opening up the box, one thing I did want to bring up, I did get this from Rob and Lisa's shop, The.Dragonfly.Apothecary. And that shop is a spiritual shop. It's for the body, the mind, and the soul. So even though I may say we're doing witchy hauls here, it's not specifically just for witches or for pagans. It's for everybody in between, just like this community. Most locally owned shops that are small businesses are there for everybody. And I want you to keep that in mind and be really, really mindful of that as you go out there and you start looking for shops that you may want to frequent. They're for everybody and anybody. Get out there, enjoy, and put out some of that spiritual currency for them. So now, let's open this box up, right? So to start off with, it does have a magnetic cover, as you can see right there. And when we open this up, ooh, the very first thing that pops out is the transparency. So let me put this over here. So this actually is the High Priestess, as you can tell from the crescent moon and by the writings below. So this is the interpretation for the Transparent Tarot of the High Priestess. It's a pretty cool card, and the concept is obviously you're going to be overlaying this card with other cards, but you can definitely get the vibe of the High Priestess just by checking out this card and seeing it. And I love that. What I'm going to do is turn the camera around and get it facing onto my table so I can do a proper unboxing. And be sure after the unboxing video is done to stick around to the end, because I'm going to have a special announcement about what's coming up in my very next video. So I look forward to seeing you on the other side of the camera and at the end of the video. Okay, so the Transparent Tarot is actually created by Emily Cotting, which is kind of a cool name all within itself. We're going to take off this top piece again. I want to check out this book. I've heard so much about this tarot manual, and I cannot wait to start reading it. So one of the things I actually heard is that this is not just a tarot manual for this book, or for this card set, but this tarot manual is like incredible reading all within itself. It's in color, as you can probably see, and it actually gives you symbolisms and not only the meaning, but how you can utilize it. Like, this is the world. So when you look at the cards, they're very much different than what you're used to. You got the Phoenix back there, and you can see these cards are actually overlaid. This is Judgment, and that's so you can see how these books are just, and these cards are just amazing. And this is the Sun. So you have all of the card sets and what might be important for you with that. But along with that, it talks about how to shuffle cards. It talks about how to use the cards. This part 3 right here, this portion right here, is part of the second edition. The first edition didn't have any of this. So all of this information is very helpful to you. Along with that, some keywords that you may want to consider with this deck. However, one of the first things that this artist actually puts out is really that we need to make our own decisions on how to use these cards, make our own decisions on what these cards mean to us, and part of that is just getting to learn and getting to know the card. So I literally could go on and on and on just about this book, but I know I find that a little bit annoying when people are actually doing that in some of these reveals, and so I'm not actually going to do that. So another thing that came with this, which is really cool, is this white reading cloth, because you want to have a white cloth for the cards, because the cards themselves are in fact totally and completely transparent. So let's set this up, and I'll be right back in just a minute. All right, so let's look at these cards. So this first one is obviously the Fool. He's beginning on his journey, butterfly. It's all about evolution, it's about growth, it's about change, it's about stepping onto that new trip, that new plan, whatever that new path might be leading you. Our next card, which I absolutely love too, is the Magician. And if you notice, you almost have this caduceus made out of dragons, and you have the balance of dark versus light. And it's set up just as the caduceus is on the Magician itself. Along with that, you have the infinity symbol. Everlasting, ever-growing, ever-living. So it really is an amazing set. Now, when I was saying how we can put them on top of each other to get the meaning, this is what I'm talking about. Look at the magic involved in that. So now we have both the Fool as well as the energy for the Magician merging together. And you can get a lot more insight out of that. And you can lay them down in a lot of different ways. And if you notice, they're actually numbered at the top. Where, whoops, there we go. We have 0, which is obviously the Fool. And we have 1, which is clearly the Magician. Now, another thing I do want to bring up about these cards, which is one of the reasons why I didn't buy them sooner. The first edition, the biggest complaint that kept coming up was that there was some form of film that was on these cards that made them really sticky and made them really attached to each other. So they were really difficult to work with. They were difficult to shuffle. And the producers had said it was something that was done during the manufacturing process, and you could wash them off with soap and water, but that never actually worked from what I read. So I held off on buying it. This second edition, however, that is absolutely not a problem. These are smooth as silk, and they obviously can be washed with soap and water if you ever need to wash them, but be very careful, of course, in doing so. But certainly it's something that you can do. Now, these cards are also designed to work with other tarot cards, as well as oracle cards, and to overlay to get more in-depth and more detailed messages. So, we already talked about this card, right? The Empress. I'm sorry, the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is all about, well, I'm not going to get into each meaning of each card, of course, but it's all about universal messages, it's all about intuition, and it's all about utilizing our own self and our own self voice to have the secrets of the universe revealed to us. Here is a very interesting card. So this card is actually the Empress, and the Empress is all about nurturing, it's about being grounded, it's about giving life. And what better than a nice countryside in order to be able to illustrate that. Now, you can't have the Empress without having the Emperor. And here's the Emperor. The Emperor is all about building up your empire. Is all about construction. It's about creating and mandating and putting things into play. And you can see how beautifully they overlay with each other. Overlay a third card, which will be the High Priestess. Comes the Empress, comes the Emperor. And there's a lot of different ways that you can utilize to really illustrate your reading. So I'm super stoked about this. Another major arcana right here. Can we guess what this major arcana is? The Hierophant. And this is all about solidity. It's about structure. And sometimes we need to go against that. Other times we need to embrace it. But certainly this is the Hierophant card. And I just love that thought process behind putting that together. Can you guess what this card is? This card is the Lovers, of course. How about this one? You guys must know this one. Absolutely, this is the Chariot. And this card, of course, is Justice, right? This card is probably one of my favorites. This is the Hermit card. And again, just going to put these cards as an overlay again. You can see how precise they set these pictures up so that these cards, when overlaid, will simply fall into each other. Do I sound excited? Because I am freaking excited right now. Can you guess what this card is? This card is the wheel, right? This card, they're all my favorites. What am I saying? But this card is also one of my favorites. This is the Strength card. So let's look at this other card. I can't stress enough how each one of these cards I absolutely love. This is the Hangman. So this is a cocoon. And this card, can you guess? Yeah, this card is death. This card is actually death, right? So let's put that one down. And let's talk about this next card. So this next card right on here is Temperance. We have to have balance. This card, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? This is the Devil. Can y'all guess what this card is? If y'all said that it's the Tower, bing, 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 you are absolutely correct. And let's look at this card. You guessed it, it's the Star. So when we have the Star card, of course, we have the Moon card. This card would absolutely make a really awesome tattoo. Any one of these cards would make amazing tattoo, but this card itself is just an awesome card. As is the Sun card. Look at that Sun card. Bright, opened up. You can actually see the excitement and the joy just in the picture of the card itself. And let's take a moment and just really, really, really look at this card and really get to enjoy it. Have you enjoyed it enough yet? This card is Judgment. And let's talk a bit about this card, if we will, for just a second. This is the World. So that's it for the major arcana cards. And I just wanted to illustrate just how really awesome they all are. And I'm just going to put them here for now. And we're going to talk a little bit about the minor arcana. So let's talk about the wands. This is the Ace of Wands. You can see just by the looks of it how really cool that is. And we have the Two of Wands, of course. And if you notice, the major arcana, we had the numbers up at the top and at the bottom. And with the minors, they're listed on the side, along with that, what they actually are. So Two of Wands, if you couldn't figure out by the picture in the middle. So, again, when we want to overlay, because I do want to overlay, but I'm actually going to come over to my Tower card because that just seems like it'd be a really cool overlay. Here it is. So when we overlay the Tower card, you can actually see exactly how you can get a whole nother meaning behind this. You've been working with someone and suddenly there's a realization that this isn't working, that there is some strife that's actually come between the two, and this might be a good time to part ways. That's one aspect and one way of reading it, but you can see just how that overlay changes the whole reality of that card. So they're actually amazingly done. So let's put that back over here. And we have the Three of Wands. We have the Four of Wands. Again, the placement of all of this is absolutely amazing. So when you look at how this actually works together, look how well they just marry in together from a reading standpoint. We have the Five of Wands, the Six of Wands, the Seven of Wands. Does that not actually give you that whole Seven of Wands feeling in the most simplistic manner possible? The Eight of Wands, again, the same feeling you would get from a traditional tarot deck, but in a very simplistic way. It's amazing to me. The Nine of Wands, and of course, the Ten of Wands. And again, look how beautiful that is. And again, let's look at an overlay. So we have the sun shining down on the Ten of Wands. Your journey is coming to an end. The universe has been watching over you, and now it's time for you to make some changes so that you're not the one lugging around so much of that energy and that emotion that you've been carrying around. You've been carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, and it's time to stop. So now let's look at the Page of Wands. Very simplistic, but you get that whole Page of Wands vibe. The Knight of Wands, same exact thing. So simplistic yet so beautiful. Of course, the Queen of Wands. And of course, the King of Wands. And if you put them both together, you have that masculine and that feminine energy working together and colluding to make things happen. So it's just really, really well thought out and really well done. Here we go with cups. And of course, we have the Ace of Cups, really beautifully done. We have the Two of Cups. And you notice how the water sign are actually blue versus the fire signs were actually red and orange. The Three of Cups. Four of Cups. And how you're getting that same vibe from it all, right? The Five of Cups. Beautifully illustrated, yet so simple. The Six of Cups. The Seven of Cups. The Eight of Cups. The Nine of Cups. And of course, the Ten of Cups. Now let's talk a bit about the Page of Cups, right? This young lady, very excited, very much so energized by her age. The Knight of Cups could be a proposal, could be a new developing feeling, could be something you've been waiting for. The Queen of Cups, of course, and it just gives you that Queen of Cup energy. And of course, the King of Cup. And again, you take the Knight, and you can see how it aligns with the King. You take the Queen, and you see how it's equal to the King, just a different form of energy. And if you take the Page of Cups, you can definitely see how all of this aligns itself and how all of this actually works together to give you information that you would not normally have. And if you take the Devil card and place it over, again, it gives you a whole nother feel and a whole nother level of reading. So let's talk about the Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords is all about ear, right? And it's all about fresh new starts. Notice the color change. Because it's all about ear, you're actually seeing a darker color. It's dark blue / gray, if you can't make that out on the camera. There's the Two of Swords. The Three of Swords. How many times have we had that feeling, right? The Four of Swords. Perfectly illustrated. The Five of Swords. The Six of Swords, leaving behind things that no longer resonate, moving to a much better place in life. Again, perfectly illustrated. The Seven of Swords. The Eight of Swords. Binding yourself into a situation, knowing that you're not really bound to it. You just put all that around you, but you can easily get yourself out of it if you choose to. The Nine of Swords, also known as the Nightmare card, right? And the Ten of Swords. Here we have that troublesome little Page of Swords and how sometimes they can wreak havoc in our life and chaos. We have the Knight of Swords. We have the Queen of Swords. And of course, the King of Swords. And again, just to show the King and Queen alignment, they always set up so that it's almost like merging of energy. And now for the Pentacles. We have the Ace of Pentacles. We have the Two of Pentacles. And notice they're green now. because Pentacles represent Earth. We have the Three of Pentacles. We have the Four of Pentacles. We have the Five of Pentacles. We have the Six of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles. And you can see how closely, yet how farly they are from the Rider-Waite decks. It's just amazing. We have the Eight of Pentacles. We have the Nine of Pentacles. And of course, we have the Ten of Pentacles. Now, let's look at the Page of Pentacles. And again, wonderfully done. Perfect illustration. It just says so much without saying anything. We have the Knight of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles. And finally now, the King of Pentacles. What an amazing deck. So there you have it, folks. The unboxing of the Transparent Tarot. I do hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm glad you stuck around to the end because I have a surprise for you. So while I was planning out this video, I had already ordered a deck of tarot cards. So my next video is going to be an unboxing of this tarot deck. Now I'm not going to announce what deck it is just yet. You'll see that when I post up the video. So definitely stay tuned. The next video will be dropping probably Saturday or Sunday, and it's going to be the unboxing of whatever is inside of this package. But I do know this, it's a tarot deck. So thanks again for joining me. Thanks again for liking, subscribing, leaving those comments. You're helping my channel grow. I truly appreciate that you and I are growing this community together, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, be safe, be well, and as always, be blessed.